I made the mistake early on in my business of kind of skating to the end of the year and then showing up January 1 and being like, all right, now what? And having nothing in the pipeline, having no kind of already set up income in January. And that is not what we want to do, because as we know, depending on the length of your sales cycle, it's the people you meet now that pay you in a month or 2 months, depending on, it could be 2 weeks, could be 6 months, depending on your sales cycle. Welcome to November. And November, of course, means that we are now in the sprint to the end of the year. So for context, we have, by my count, and granted, you may not take certain holidays off like I do, or you might not take them as seriously as I do. By my count, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 weeks of work, of productivity left in this year. And I want you to stop thinking about 2021. We are now thoroughly into 2022. So next quarter, so first quarter of next year, is determined by what we do in quarter 4 of this year, right? I made the mistake early on in my business of kind of skating to the end of the year and then showing up January 1 and being like, all right, now what? And having nothing in the pipeline, having no kind of already set up income in January. And that is not what we want to do, because as we know, depending on the length of your sales cycle, it's the people you meet now that pay you in a month or 2 months, depending on, it could be 2 weeks, could be 6 months, depending on your sales cycle. So we need to be thinking right now, if not sooner than now, about what we're going to be selling this winter. And I'm going to have you next week work on a offering for December or January, depending on your type of market and type of product. But for now, let's talk about how we are starting 2022 right now. The first thing is you're starting strong. And to start strong, you want to finish strong. And that means this is not the time to be petering off in our engagements. So like I said, I count 5 remaining weeks in the year. I will show up in kind of my full power for those 5 weeks. So I will continue to record podcast episodes. I will continue to guest blog. I will continue to show up in all of the places that I'm showing up. Obviously, those are a little different right now because I'm still half on maternity leave. But for you, wherever you're networking, wherever you're advertising, wherever you are guesting and creating content, you need to continue to show up for those 5 weeks. Now, the other weeks between now and the literal end of the year that I didn't count in those 5, sure, don't show up. I won't be showing up the week of Christmas. I will not really be showing up the week of Thanksgiving or the last week of the year. Obviously, I'll be doing my retreat then. So I'll be showing up, but already for people who paid. So finish strong. Second is lay the groundwork. So whatever that means for your quarter 1. We haven't done our full planning for next year, but you should have a little bit of an idea of things that you're going to be doing next year. So maybe you're doing the brainstorming right now for next year. Maybe you already know of products or initiatives you're going to be launching in quarter 1 of next year. So you need to be laying the groundwork, creating the things that will help you so that it's already in process when next year starts. So often over the holidays as small business owners, because our life expands, and we want it to expand. We want to enjoy the holidays. I'm a Christmas crazy. I go hard for Christmas. But we are laying the groundwork so that we don't have to execute all of a January thing all in January, if that makes sense. Make sure you have started anything that you want to be finishing in January. And then most importantly is filling the pipeline. If we are not continuing to kind of drop people into the top of our funnels during this time of year, we will arrive into next year with nobody in the pipeline, and we'll be starting from scratch, and that will give you an income lag, right? You'll see that January, February, even March were slim months because you had kind of petered off dropping people into the top of that funnel over November, December. So that's the first thing I want you to be focusing on, is finishing really strong so that you can start strong next year. Next is this time of year is perfect for clearing out unfinished business, and that is something we're going to do in 2 weeks. I'm going to have a bunch of prompts for you, but realistically, this is our chance, in a similar way to how I want you to clear off your list on Sundays, right? I want you to finish up anything that is still nagging at you from that week's list. I also want you to be doing that same type of thing for the entire end of the whole year. So I want to see that you're looking through your goals, you're looking through your list of projects for the year, and you are getting those unfinished things done out of your brain. You don't have to carry them with you into next year. And then lastly, we're starting now to look at where we're going next year. And that is something we'll continue throughout November and December to get in more detail. But really, truly, our 2022 is determined by the planning and decisions that we make here in 2021. So I'm excited to be doing all of that with you guys. If you feel like you can't wait till the end of the year to do some planning, you're already chomping at the bit to figure out your products and services for next year, figure out packages, figure out, you already know things that you want to launch and you need to get started on them. Don't hesitate to reach out to me and we can start working on some of that stuff already. If you already see where you have unfinished business, so you already know what you need to be finishing strong and laying the groundwork for next year and getting that pipeline filled for next year, then keep plugging and chunking on that and we will finish the planning over December, particularly of course on the retreat, because that is the dedicated time for it, right? So don't hesitate to reach out, and that's what we're doing from now on.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Elizabeth Tolis. Subscribe for content about
I'm inviting
a sustainable
you to download
lifestyle,
the free
life design,
Focus app.
self-care,
It is available
household,
on
maybe a little bit of
Apple or Google,
parenting, and that is going to give you
primarily
access to
entrepreneurship.
all of our free business content. It's going to give you a look at our membership program, and it's going to give you lots of different resources on how to build a business that supports the life you want to live, where you get to have the good and you get to have the great. Go ahead and give me and the Emerald Office a follow on Instagram. Find us online at www.theemeraldoffice.com, and I can't wait to see you again.